Hello viewers, I want to welcome you to my channel today where I cut and polish gemstones, and today I'm doing faceting. And what you're looking at is a large piece of lemon quartz. So I'm going to be trimming some of this section off here. Here's our diagram I'm using for this Portuguese cut. And I'm rounding the stone here. This is a recut of a stone I had started earlier. I decided to make it smaller because I didn't have enough room for the pavilion with the larger diameter, so I'm making the diameter about 20 millimeters, which gives me plenty of height now for all of it. This is a light colored citrine quartz. Okay, I've got the first tier of facets cut. I'm working with a 360 grit lap. It's a well worn, pretty smooth. It leaves a smooth finish. This is 360 does. I've cut the girdle facets also. Okay, here I have polished the girdle and I have pre-polished the first tier of facets here. And next I'll do the final polishing of that first tier. I'm kind of doing this stone a little bit different than I usually do. I'm cutting a tier and I'm completely pre-polishing and polishing it before I move on to the next tier of facets. I think that might work better for me working on this Portuguese cut. So I'm going to try it that way on this stone. I was talking to another faceter, and that's the way he cuts all his stones. He cuts, pre-polishes and polishes one tier at a time and then moves to the next set of facets. He has good luck doing that, so that's completely opposite the way I've always done it, but I'm going to try it on this stone, see how I work out. So this has been pre-polished with 8,000 grit. So next I'll start the final polish. And it should go quickly because this is the 8,000 grit lightning lap resin bonded disc, and it really leaves a smooth finish. I want to take a moment to talk about the laps I used cutting this gemstone. I started out the very rough cutting with this coarse 180 grit topper lap. When I say topper, it's very thin. It doesn't have a backing lap under it. So it must be used with a master lap, which is one of these aluminum type laps. After I got the stone pretty much shaped to the basic shape, I went to the 360 channel lap for starting the coarse facets. Once I had those started, I went to the 600 copper lap, and this is a lightning lap. It's very thin, it's resin bonded. This also has to be used on top of the master backing lap. After I cut the 600 facets, I used this 3000 topper. It's another thin lightning lap. I cut all the facets with this pre-polished lap. Next I used the 8000 lightning lap. The reason these are much cheaper because they don't have the backing. They're much cheaper than the full size lightning lap, which are around $100. These are about $55 each. And for final polishing, I used the cerium lightning lap, cerium oxide. I have the 1200 lightning lap, but I've got a spot on that that's not good. That's why I've marked it with the black ring around, so I stay away from that bad spot there. But I didn't need to use the 1200. I skipped over this, but there are times when you can use a 1200. So you need to have one, I think. Now cutting the second tier of facets. Here I've finished all the facets. They've been polished too. So next is the gem transfer, the dot transfer. Okay, I've chosen the correct size cone dop. And I've got the dops and the stone put into the transfer jig. Knobs are tightened down. Ready to check it out, and everything looks good here. I'll mix up some epoxy and put it on. Alright, I've put the epoxy on, and the gem will dry overnight, or the glue will dry, and tomorrow I'll start cutting the crown. Started fastening the crown facets here. Here I've cut the first tier of crown facets. This is rough cutting with a 180 grit lap. Still got a very thick girdle, so I'm going to cut that down even further. At this step, I have cut with the 260 lap. Here the second tier of facets has been cut using the 600 resin disc. Here I've cut all 4 tiers of facets. I cut them with the 360, then I went back with the 600 and cut them all. So next I will pre-polish with 3000 grit paste on a zinc lap. I've just finished all the polishing of every facet. The only thing left I have to cut is the table facet. I used a cerium oxide lap for the polish. Here I'm cutting the table facet. Okay, I'm final polishing the gem. This is the last step, cutting the table, polishing the table. Gemstone is now finished, and I'll take it off the dop and examine it. See what the color is going to look like and how brilliant this is. Okay, here's our finished lemon citrine Portuguese cut gemstone. The weight is 24 carats.